Hello and welcome to Numeril. I'm your host, Damon DamonNailer. We have a show in store for you that is awesome. We thank you for tuning in and let's get right into it. It is entitled The Beast and the False Prophet, authored and presented by me, Damon DaRil, copyright 2021. The objective, we're going to share the characteristics and descriptions of the beast or final world dictator and the false prophet. The beast. Number one, he comes into power when the ruler before him only continues for a short space. The scripture says the ruler is destroyed neither in anger nor in battle. Some kind of way he'll probably die or just be removed from office. The final dictator replaces this ruler. Daniel 11:21 calls him a vile, which means morally depraved, wicked person, who they did not give the honor of the kingdom to, who comes in peaceably in a pleasant and friendly way and takes over the former leader's position by using flatteries. This shows us he will be able to manipulate people very well because he was not one they wanted to honor as a king or a leader, but he was able to obtain a position through his nice, pleasant facade. Number two is described as a king of fierce or violent countenance who understands dark sentences. Dark sentences are riddles, tough questions, hidden things. In essence, he will be keen and insightful because he will be led by Satan. So Satan is going to unveil and reveal secret dark things to him. Number three, he subdues three of the kings or kingdoms who are a part of the 10 king system, which makes it 7 heads but 10 horns. Daniel 7, 8, and 24. The three kingdoms are Egypt, Libya, and Ethiopia, because he gains power over their wealth and they are brought under his subjection. Daniel 11, 43. The 7 heads represent power, authority, and control. The 10 horns represent the title, office, and position. The 3 subdued kings will be figureheads. In other words, they're going to have the title, office, and position of leader, but they're not going to have the power, authority, and control because the beast is going to take over their kingdoms. Number 4, he will deceitfully form a 7-year league, treaty, or a peace covenant and then violate it near the halfway point. Half of 7 will be 3.5 years, and this is when the Great Tribulation period will begin, and it lasts 3.5 years. Number 5, he will become strong with a small people. Number 6, he will think to change times and laws, Daniel 7 and 25, and he will bring in prosperity through his policies. Number 7, he magnifies himself, blasphemes God, wears out the saints, enters God's temple, and proclaims himself to be God, 2 Thessalonians 2 and 4. He removes the daily sacrifice and replaces it with his own host or with an alternative image. That's in Revelations 13, 14, and 15. To which he will want the people to worship. This is the abomination which causes desolation, as stated in Matthew 24 and 15 and Daniel 8 verses 11 through 12. He will also cast down the sanctuary, and those are the scriptures. Number 8, he will have a deadly wound that will be healed. Many think this is symbolic, and at first glance, they do have a possible point. However, after further study, this will actually be a physical wound to the beast or final world dictator and not a country. The heads on the beast represent each kingdom and the king's power, authority, and control. The horns on the beast represent the position, office, and title of king. This means when John refers to one of his heads having a wound, it's referring to a king and not a kingdom. The key verse is Revelation 13 and 13, where it says he had the wound by a sword and did live. So he's going to be struck some kind of way, wounded, and it's going to be fatal, or people are going to think it's fatal, and he's going to basically come back to life and be healed. Number 9, he will forecast devices or use technological or mechanical warfare, or maybe even biochemical warfare. Number 10, he will overthrow many countries and specifically take control over the treasures of gold and silver and precious things in Egypt and Ethiopia and Libya shall be at his steps or under his authority and control. We kind of touched on that earlier. Number 11, he's going to divide the spoiled land with his people, and we're going to find out who his people are in the next session. Number 12, he's going to build his palace in between the seas and the glorious holy mountain. This will be an area in Jerusalem. The city is positioned between the Red Sea and the Mediterranean Sea and the Judean mountains. Number 13, he's going to honor a God of forces, and a God whom his fathers knew not shall he honor with gold, silver, precious stones, and pleasant things. And we're going to find out and delve more into that in the next session. 14, he will destroy God's people by sword, flame, captivity, and spoil many days, specifically for 3.5 years, which is the Great Tribulation. And then 15, he will be slain, his body destroyed, and given to the flame. Number 16, he will be given power over all kindreds, tongues, and nations. He and a false prophet will cause all, both small, great, rich, poor, free, and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and no man will be able to buy or sell except he or she who possesses the mark, the name of the beast, or the number of the name. Sounds very familiar. Seems like we're kind of being conditioned and seeing a preview of that right now. There is much speculation as to what the mark will be. Some think it will be a barcode, while others believe it may be a computer chip. And the computer chip kind of has all the properties, so I'm strongly leaning towards that, especially in light of everything that's going on. This is one of those prophecies where you have to wait until it comes to pass to be certain of the revelation. Just know whatever type of device it is, people have to possess it to buy or sell. And for those who are Christians, we cannot receive this mark. Now we're going to move on to the false prophet. The beast is the final world dictator who will rule in the political and militaristic arenas. The false prophet will assist the beast, and he'll have authority in the spiritual and religious arena. The scriptures and characteristics of the false prophet. Number 1, he will be used by the power of Satan to show great signs and lying wonders in an effort to deceive people and cause them to follow and worship the beast. 2 great examples of those miraculous deceptive signs. Number 1 is going to cause fire to come down from heaven in the sight of man. Number 2 is going to give light to the image of the beast and cause it to speak. He is going to encourage people to worship the beast and receive his image or his mark. Number 3 causes many as who will not worship the beast to be killed. Number 4, he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or on their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that has the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. And number 5, he will be cast alive into the lake of fire and brimstone. So there you have it. We have lots of prophecies on the beast and just a few on the false prophet. But it's going to be pretty evident with everything going on when you align all of the scriptures with the trumpets and the vials being poured and all of the things happening in the earth realm. For us Christians and those who are biblically astute, we're going to know exactly who the beast is and the false prophet. We're going to know who they are. But to the world, they won't know anything. And that's why we're sharing this, so we can get the word out, so the people of God, we as the people of God, can be aware and have that knowledge and wisdom we need and be prepared for these end times, because we're definitely living in them. We thank you for tuning in. Hit that subscribe button if you hadn't done so. Get the word out to others to come and listen to some sound biblical teaching so that they can get some revelation and insight. We'll see you in the next one. God bless.